Hey, hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you? Hi,
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. I think this is like second time probably I'm face to face ko.
Yeah,
We
I
went to
guess.
college, but I think actually बातें हो like one-on-one in-person interaction. So nice to see you after so many years.
Yeah, very nice to see you too.
How have you been? Sorry, my kitten is kind of
It's
all,
Shizuka, right?
all other.
Shizuka, no?
Yeah, Shizuka. She climbed up on my leg and she just okay. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's like it was very bizarre to just ask you and send it out of the blue if you want to do podcast. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this, Anna. I think before we move on to the topic, I'd really like you to first introduce everyone, like introduce yourself to everyone who will be listening this, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. First of all, I'm sorry. There's a lot of noise where I
Okay.
live. I hope it's not coming through. Yeah, but my name is Nishma Gautam. And I don't know. Well, I completed my bachelor's in psychology. I'm an aspiring psychologist. I'm doing diploma in counseling currently, and I'm also planning to pursue a master's in psychology if everything goes right in 2022. So yeah, I think yeah, but then I think for the sake of this conversation, I'm a feminist, and yeah, I think that would be enough. Or maybe if it comes up, we can just talk more about it.
Yeah,
What's it?
sure. Thank you for the introduction. And I didn't know you were studying psychology. That's amazing. And also great that you mentioned that you're a feminist. I'm a feminist too. It took me some time to understand that I am one. I know Nepal, let's say I didn't really understand the idea, but it took some research and understanding to just come around the fact that I am a feminist, in fact. And having said that, I think you and I connect on that same ideology just relax. Like we like
Yeah.
technically we are not like we know each other, but we've never been like friends or hung out or anything like that. But I think thanks to social media, I've seen what you share and you've seen what I share. And we've had a lot of conversations like that. So I'm really thankful that we connect through the same ideology or same idea of feminism. Manamna. So
Yeah.
today's topic, just before we join in, just about an hour ago, I was wondering should the topic be on it, right, Nani? I think we're just going to talk about, I think, sexual harassment against women on women. I don't know the right word, but yeah, just let's talk about sexual harassment against women. Do you think that's the right theme, or do you want to add anything else? I just want this to be like your show. I just want to learn what you think about this topic, and say I don't want to like limit you in any way.
Yeah, yeah, I think we can also go a bit broader than just talking about experiences of women. It can be because, sexual harassment exists in, like men and especially people who don't, trans people, that happens a lot, even in Nepal. So perhaps we can, go a bit broader
Okay.
because it is a very broad thing. So perhaps, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. The reason why I always want to do, I think, a podcast with you because I see your opinions on Facebook and on Instagram, and I really, really admire what you say and what you speak. So to start with, I have so many things. I mean, we discussed this briefly about what we would cover, but I think I would like to start it with the word or two words, rape culture. Just correct me if I am like saying anything wrong, you know. A lot of people, I think, when I say rape culture, they don't understand Sulaksake Malay. They just think, okay, it's a society where rape happens. I think that's what people think it's rape culture. But from my understanding, rape culture is where it's normalized. There's a lot of victim blaming, and the reasons or the causes behind that kind of sexual violence is kind of not recognized or addressed. I think that's what rape culture is. What do you think it is, or correct me if I said anything wrong?
Um, well, um, it is what you said, obviously, kinapani, our culture is a part of society. I personally, I am, less inclined to using the word culture pani, because although it's a part of culture, it also makes it, the culture, it's very assimilated in our upbringing, and it's a part of society, and it's, in a way, there's acceptance to it, okay, that rape happens, and also, yeah, there's a pattern to it, and it's embedded in our society, that also will also letting it be embedded just but it's personal thing. But then, yeah, having said that, definitely there are patterns to it. There are patterns to it happening. There are patterns to it being dismissed. There are patterns to how these, issues are dealt with. So, yeah, Nepali society, might say it's just very. Yeah, so when we talk about Nepali society on this rape culture, like the pop culture may use the term, so when we talk about this idea, definitely there's so much into it. We could not possibly encapsulate everything in this conversation, Bunny. But it's not that this conversation has not happened anywhere, because time there's probably other people talking about the same thing in their own society. Nepali society, say it's very sad, it's very frustrating at times that it takes up our space so much. If we just go sadly our source of information for Nepali is routine of Nepal Panta. So if you could just go and scroll their page, okay, like every day there's one post about someone being sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, raped, what's worse is that's just statistics of cases that got registered. People to case registered boyo, but imagine the number of cases that does not get registered because of the responses that people give in the comment section. Okay, so the reflection of society, I've been a very firm believer of our society reflection element. Just go and look at posts of routine of Nepal Bandha, because we come from privileged backgrounds and we can speak in English. We have access to information, big privilege, the access to information. But if you want to look out of that privileged bubble, and if you just go and look at the comments of routine of Nepal Bandhan, this is the real Nepal. And this is how people respond to people sharing about their incidents. So I think the culture aspects come there, okay? How we respond to it and how we deal with it. Even the framing of news, like framing of posts of Nepal, routine of Nepal, how is it done? So does it sound like a man posting it? Does it sound like a woman posting it? So all these things come into play, and a lot of it's a reflection of our society, and it does not give a very good reflection, Bunny.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned. So I was one of those people who used to comment on Routine of Nepal Bandha like very vigorously. I think it was probably when I was 18, 19, when I was just discovering about, not discovering, but I was very vocal about women issues and stuff. And I used to just comment and like give replies to these people. And I remember a very specific one where it was talking about marital rape. And it was like 80, not even 80, I think 90% of the comments were like, so weird, so ignorant, And I remember, I think I replied to at least 10, 15 people. And I just remember feeling very scared at the end, because that was their response. Scared for their mindset, scared that are they gonna like retract, or are they gonna do something like, send me like bad messages or something like that. And I think after a few incidents like that, I stopped commenting, because then I realized that it's no use. It's like, it was almost like talking to a wall, because it's very, very ignorant. And I'm glad you brought that up. I know. I've seen like a lot of meowing, and my other cat is meowing, he wants to get in. I've seen some people, I know, when you talk about rape and all, I've seen like Nirmala Panta. Nirmala, is that her last name, Panta? Yeah, Nirmala Panta. Nirmala Panta, her case, I know that was like a very big thing. Everyone wanted justice for her. And early put, like, I see a lot of men who have the profile picture Justice Nirmala Vanira. And I have seen a lot of men who comment otherwise, on such posts where maybe somebody is talking about sexual harassment or if there's like some kind of post about how women has been assaulted, any kind of that stuff, they make fun, they disagree, and at the same time they want justice for Nirmala Pant. Like I find that so hypocritical. Okay, what do you have to say?
It's just plain double standards. It's just they like to believe what they believe, and they never want to push the boundaries of what they understand. It's very infuriating. Okay? It's very oh, look at Sisuga, she's so cute. Sorry. It's very when there's this the double standard. Why Nirmala Pant, why was there outrage? I'm not saying that she didn't deserve. Obviously, people still take her name whenever we talk about sexual assault or justice denied.
Yeah.
But then her case is also being used as a token for everyone to say, oh, I fight for you. I fight for sexual assault, because Nirmala justice like the and that's no, you're doing it to make yourself feel better. You're not working for the justice, and definitely she deserves justice, but we also have to understand she's not getting any money. And why was her case you brought up so much? That's because she was killed after the incident, and it's very brutal. And it makes me feel like, do we care more about rape or do we care more about murder? So there are those two things. Okay, because if you cared about rape, you would talk about other kurapan. Like you would talk about cases where the culprit has not, the victim has not died, and you would not ask the victim, what were you wearing, who were you with, why did you go with him, or why were you even there, or if it's a guy saying it, why don't you just enjoy it on your own? Like things like these. So it clearly shows a double standards, and we have very limited understanding of rape. Okay, because if you go and ask any other person what rape looks like, they're going to say it's very forceful. Okay, in the movies, sorry for the bullet that passed. So movies, like पहिला हामी त हिन्दी movies 90s को kids we grew up watching Hindi movies and Nepali movies. जसमा चाहिँ the whole plot of a movie was then the girlfriend gets usko izzat is compromised.
Yeah.
And then there's this very triggering, very violent scenes and it's very forceful. And that's what people think rape is, but it's not, and we don't. The people are it's very difficult to change minds of people once they're set. That's how rape looks like. So if केटीले खुर्सा सुरुवाल लागेको छ and if it still happens, then it's a bigger degree of crime. But if a girl is wearing mini skirt or tank top, and if it happens, then she was probably asking for it. We have been indoctrinated. So and the very limited understanding of what rape looks like. And not just general people. हाम्रो नेपालको legal system and if you look at how they describe rape laws, insinuating that it's always very forceful. अनि त्यसले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ ग्रुमिङ जस्तो कुराहरु अथवा हुन्छ नि पहिला कन्सेन्ट दिएर बीचमा कन्सेन्ट नदिने पनि केसेस हुन्छ नि त. So all these कुराहरुलाई चाहिँ शन गर्छ के हुन्छ नि. अनि if it's a boyfriend or if it's someone from family member, if it's someone that they're close with, तिनीहरुलाई पनि एकदम लिमिट गर्छ के. So if legal system ले नै हुन्छ नि करनी happens when it's जबरजस्ती हैन, करनी नै जबरजस्ती भयो भने चाहिँ the consent, like simple definition of rape the non consensual sex हो नि त, that's it.
Right.
It's very simple हैन. अब त्यसलाई पनि layers and layers छ हैन. अनि even legal system त अब it is progressive in many manners, but it's still हुन्छ नि, it's so limiting and it's very much focused on only women. It does not हुन्छ नि like cater to men. It does not cater to trans population हैन. So यो केसेसमा चाहिँ it's very के भन्ने यसलाई चाहिँ एकदम there is double standards legal system देखि society देखि बच्चादेखि हाम्रो media देखि everything has double standards and everyone has opinion in it and everyone thinks that they're right हैन अनि I probably sound like it पनि but at least like let's have an open mind कसैले भन्दैछ भने let's just keep ourselves in that place भन्ने पनि त्यही नभएर पनि there's this we just अनि मलाई त्यसैले it makes me very uncomfortable के जब there are so many people talking about निर्मला पन्त अनि हुन्छ नि are you using it for your हुन्छ नि आफ्नो साइड ओके ल हो gender equality yes भनेर भने
show that you are a moral human being भनेर
yeah exactly so yeah it's just yeah that's very एकदमै नै sad reflection of Nepali society you're talking about.
I find it really interesting. Sadly, it's a little sad, you know. People who talk about Nirmala Pant, it's great that they're taking this stand, but I mean, I'm nobody to tell them what they should stand for. If their issue is with a woman being raped, then why not talk about so many other like issues? And there's so many rapes. Like, why are you just stuck on one thing? Just if you're advocating and if you feel strongly enough about it to actually change your profile picture, then that means you care enough. Then why not talk about everything that's happening? Like, are you helping women in your life? I've actually talked to a few people I know who are so sexist and then have Nirmala Pantoko like profile picture. I'm like, really, dude, like you need to do some self-reflection. But it's as we just discussed, I think it's trying to just show or आफैलाई हुन्छ नि सन्तुष्टि दिन कि like oh I'm a good human being I'm morally right देखाउन मात्रै गरेको जस्तो लाग्छ. Having said that, just going back a few minutes where you discussed report like how so many cases are not even reported, I know. I think that's kind of tied in with family reputation. I think a lot of times family, I think it's they suppress. They don't want their daughter's image to be ruined or their family image to be ruined. And that is one thing. And secondly, I think victim blaming is also I think whenever we think about rape, I think it's just the women on like highlight mounts again, like who did the rape is always, I think like recently this is kind of like surged, where I've seen posts where instead of using words like she was raped, use the words he raped her, like so that's a very conversation going on there. But I think why we have so many cases which are not reported is because of the family and second victim blaming, and it's sickening, like the way what you're wearing. And I want to reference this. I know I love this movie Pink. I'm pretty sure you watched it, right?
Yeah,
you watch it like at least once, 2-3 months, just to like I think it's a great movie that teaches about consent and slut shaming, victim blaming, and all that. That's what I was just wanting to bring that up. And the next thing I want to mention, I think you also talked about Hindi movies and all that. I have actually like posted this on Instagram, I think a few months ago, how in the movies, women are always used. I know you're trying to show how rape is bad, a woman is being raped and like she gets justice, but why are they used? They're still being objectified in a way that they're just using women's like dignity to glorify a man, and a man needs to be a savior, like her savior. And I hate that, and that's the reason I really don't like a lot of South Indian movies still. I think Bollywood has, at least in the movies, have at least done some sort of filtering there, but but the movies definitely need to do better. And I'm a big believer that movies have a lot of effect on our subconscious and the way we form our values. It works both ways. Like movies are a reflection of society, but people can the society can be affected the way movies are in that time. Having said that, we talked about rape culture, Nirmala case. I just want to talk about other things. Like when we just talk about rape, we just don't think so many underlying symptoms. Let's call it symptoms. Be it eve teasing, be it your professor misbehaving with you, maybe, verbal harassment, so many other things, you know, these are normalized so much that I don't know how, like I don't have statistics or I haven't studied this, but I just feel these are almost like building blocks of someone getting raped. So that's what I say, you know. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, these definitely are, because the consent ko kura agi garyo ni, you know, it's so if teasing happens without a person's consent, you know, or harassment happens without a person's consent, you know, so it's basically you enforcing your will on someone, and you are disrespecting their bodily autonomy, and that's very important. Rape is contrary to popular belief, rape is not about penetration. Okay, and so what you dismantle there is autonomy. You know, we like our freedom. We are free beings. And not being able to say no for your own body, or not being respected, that you have a say in your body. So it may be if teasing, and you have a say in what you like or dislike, or do you want to entertain someone else and catcalling you or something like that. You know? So it's all part of it. And it's not necessarily about, it's not necessarily about what happens. It's also about, it's more about, it's less about physical aspect. Of course, then it's very much involved. It's also about the hierarchy of power, okay? Because rape through the history has been, it shows who's in power.
Right.
त्यो रेपको क्राइम त पहिलेदेखि हो नि त, war crimesमा पर्ने कुरा हो भनेपछि पहिलाको टाइममा when people women's bodies or people's bodies to autonomy like dismantle गर्न त पहिलेदेखि युज गर्थ्यो नि त रेप, right? So it has a very heavy history to it, and why was it one that it's a matter of power, okay? When a person rapes another person, the person is saying I have more power than you over your own body. I know when a person harasses a person, it's the same thing. And I could do this to you and I can get away with it. Right. I know there are so many women, every other woman, every woman, I'm sure you have gone through this too. Public transport ma harass nabhako मैले नेपालमा female भेटेकै छैन के. अनि I'm not so so that's very, that shows के it's a public bus the Nepal क्या packed हुन्छ, it's like jam packed with people. And त्यो ठाउँमा पनि if people feel powerful enough to harass someone and to touch inappropriately भने त्यसले त उ गरेर हो नि त, reward गरेर हो नि त. If you can get away with it, you would be comfortable doing it again. So it could start with eve teasing, you know, it could start and then it could gradually grow up to harassment and then assault to you know. But yeah, they are very the telltale signs of someone being okay with कसैको पनि bodily autonomy मा हुन्छ नि, like exerting their power over it. So it's not necessarily about हुन्छ नि त्यो, less about the, like, of course some they are very brutal and physical, mental, that's how they say. So mentally it takes a very big toll on people. And yeah, like you said, they are building blocks of it, or they are just one thing, because I think harassment or cases has to be taken as seriously as rape, because right. Like I said, it's not just about penetration. Like penetration भयो भनेर हैन, the people can get affected नि त. अनि did they get affected? Was their autonomy ignored? यो खालको कुराहरु चाहिँ is more important. Okay, and this happens in whenever we see hierarchy of power among two groups or two different people, it happens even for not just girls. Why do smaller boys get raped in Nepal? Because there's the hierarchy mathi. And why do older people seem to rape younger people? I know. So all the structures of power that we have, it comes into play. And that's what allows people to get away with it, and that's what encourages them. Okay, once you get away with it, encourage the boy, you're not being, like you said, victim blaming, victim shaming. The And it's fault of society. You study embedded so that people don't even take action. Okay? And what is even taking action? Okay? The justice system is centric, because justice system definitely is not centric on the victim, which should be the case. But I was मेरो like post time I had to analyze juvenile go criminal case हैन अनि मैले चाहिँ juvenile rape case मा हेरेको थिएँ के अनि there was a 14-year-old guy who raped a 12-year-old girl हैन अनि so त्यो case हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I was just reading the case and it was like त्यो सबै कुरामा it just talks about हुन्छ नि like psychosexual behavior of the guy हुन्छ नि psychological behavior of the guy हुन्छ नि अनि उसलाई कसरी रिह्याबिलिटेट गर्ने उसलाई कसरी हुन्छ नि लाइक जुवेनाइल करेक्सन सेन्टरमा राख्ने अनि ओके द्याट्स अल राइट अनि म चाहिँ के सोचिरहेको थिएँ भने लाइक what happened to the victim हुन्छ नि like certain thousands थियो remuneration because juvenile हो केटा हैन अनि हुन्छ नि certain on juvenile correction center मा I think it was 6 months हो कि yeah I think it was 6 months हैन त्यति राख्यो हैन but then like what's the remuneration खै त for the girl like money is not enough के त्यसले त 2 वर्षको थेरेपी पनि पुग्दैन के अनि right so the PTSD cases for rape victims एकदम हाई छ सो हाम्रो जस्टिस सिस्टमले हामी जहिले भन्छौँ नि हुन्छ नि hang the rapist or do this to rapist or do that to rapist अलिकति change the perspective हैन like give this to the victim हुन्छ नि it's not enough अनि so yeah jailing को कुरा छँदैछ तर we have to center focus on victim from a very empathetic lens and that's very important अहिले जस्तो लाग्छ के so yeah a lot of things come into play अनि a lot of things are not adequate अहिले नेपालमा.
Yeah, I think that's a very good perspective. Like when we think about like rape cases, I think I focus so much on the punishment and giving justice. I think justice is her, but I think we also need to form a better society where that person can heal, where that person can live and live life no differently than any other person. And I didn't know, like in that case, so technically the guy was given more attention for his recovery or whatever than the woman who was raped. Like that's
what happens. Not just that one case, because justice system में कुरा गर्दाखेरि remuneration के हुन्छ certain amount दिन्छ पैसामा हुन्छ अनि त्यसै जेलमा हुन्छ हैन but does our state guarantee that they get the mental or physical assistance के त्यो सबै कुरा चाहिँ त्यो सबै कुरामा like even when a person is murdered हुन्छ गाडीहरुले हानेर मान्छेहरु मर्दाखेरि पनि पैसा दिन्छ अनि त्यसपछि त्यो फ्यामिलीले लाइफ लङ त्यतिमै बिताउँछ भने छ हैन we just know like the infamous hit and run case मा पनि like 10,000 दियो and then like you're just expected to live your life the family is just expected to live your life it's the same can especially with victims of rape cases that they have to live with that trauma for their entire life erase गर्न मिल्दैन नि त they can learn to deal with it with correct society or correct healing platforms like therapy हुन सक्छ अथवा हुन्छ नि social के रे support groups हुन सक्छ these things can play a supportive family but the trauma is theirs and they have to live with it हैन त्यसमा कसरी ease in गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ I found it very much lacking and that was very sad के मेरो लागि चाहिँ and I'm like okay like it's high time that we also think about what do victims want and it's very it's very concerning funny
your justice I think it's people kind of I think your movie bade sikeko lagcha malai nyaya deu justice deu all that but I think so there's basically I don't know much about like law and rules of Nepal. So basically you're saying there's not really a solid system in place where they can provide psychological help or something so that the victim can heal. So there's nothing like that in place right now.
Nothing in written, like nothing in action so far, right? Not that I've seen Pani. So if there's anyone listening who knows otherwise, feel free to enlighten. So far I've not found it.
Okay, that's really sad. Going back to what you said about like power and hierarchy, and I shared this literally like a few days ago. I think when the Paul Shah case happened, I know, like a lot of, like, even my mom says it, like men have that urge, they can, like, they rape, that's why. So like my mom thinks that's what my mom thinks, like men have like this
Yeah.
aggressive urge to have sex and all that. And I mean, I've just thought about this so much, and I think it comes down to, like, again, power. You do it just because you can. It's not about lust or the urge. It's about power at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And also, Nepali society, or like South Asian society, I think I I think this problem lies there because we basically treat women as second-class citizens. And I think there's no denying that. It's just women like you gonna choose that. Oh, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have babies, and that's the role assigned to them. And anything above that is just like extra. Oh, she's a housewife. Oh, she works, like, oh, she's married, but she also has a job. You wouldn't say that about a man, right? He's married, but he also has a job. So just like, it's so secondary. Okay, everything else is so secondary for a woman, and
Yeah.
just getting married and having babies is all she does and all she has. And I
Mm.
think until and unless we stop viewing women like that, I don't think this problem is gonna get solved. That's
Yeah,
what.
definitely. And it's also about to viewing women as like second citizens in the second sex, you know. It's so rampant. And also that also happens while we teach men that it's okay, okay, like you said, Sunny, like guys, they are aggressive, they have the urge because they're allowed to have it. ए यो केटै त हो नि, उसको त यही नै हो नि हुन्छ, that's what they do भन्यो भने. अनि obviously there's one thing, that's what I do हुन्छ नि, that's what is right भनेर. That's how a lot of men who हुन्छ नि are victims of rape suffer, okay? Because they are made to believe that that's something they must enjoy, okay? And they're getting it for free, they're getting it without any hard work, any effort हुन्छ नि. अनि a lot of men get laughed at because that's happened to them. Because like be a man once again, when a guy is raped and they open up about it, the answer that they get is be a man. So the expectation is from a man is, you're a man, you like sex, that's it. So to get that sex, you can violate others' rights, but if you get that forcefully, you have to accept it. अनि त्यसले के पनि गरिरहेछ भन्दाखेरि you can do it forcefully. And like you said, हुन्छ नि त्यो womenको role नै it's very much serving a man. हुन्छ नि बिहे हुनुभन्दा अगाडि अहिले त at least हुन्छ नि women are allowed to not get married until 20, हैन, तर it still happens, हैन. अनि तर त्यो it's centric हुन्छ नि, बिहे गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि फ्यामिलीमा सिक, खाना पकाउन सिक, भाँडा माझ्न सिक, because you have to impress your in-laws, your husband. And you bihe bhayepachi it's your husband in-laws that your life is very much revolved around. And that's where the case of marital rape comes, right. Because you are expected to satisfy your man, however हुन्छ नि बिहेमा अलिअलि भइहाल्छ नि, तिमीले अलिकति रिजाउन सकेन होला, अनि जति बेरै नाइ भन्दैपछि हुन्छ त, आफ्नै बुढीलाई नगरी कसलाई गर्ने, हैन. Absurd statements like these. अनि it's just so हुन्छ नि, like you said, it's because women are the second sex, हुन्छ नि believed to be the second sex. And also because men पनि हुन्छ नि, because उनीहरुलाई यो allow गरिएको छ, both of them are suffering, okay? Obviously there's the numbers ma हेर्दाखेरि हुन्छ नि, the number of men getting raped is a minority, but number of women getting raped is the majority, हैन. तर but it still happens नि त, outliers do exist, हैन. अनि plus अनि हुन्छ नि, I just coming back to the legal system ma पनि marital rape नेपालमा त it is one of the very few Asian countries हुन्छ नि, I think second one, I think मैले चिन्ने लयर दिदीले चाहिँ second country भन्नु जस्तो लाग्यो, हैन, who हुन्छ नि criminalized marital rape, which is a great thing, हैन. तर the punishments for marital rape is significantly less compared to rape of a woman, हुन्छ नि, किन नेपालले त women को rape लाई मात्रै उ गर्छ नि, rape of a woman or a girl child, के हुन्छ नि, who is not married, it did not happen within a marriage, हैन. And त्यो भनेको चाहिँ again the double standards के like there's intersection of double standards everywhere भने जस्तो. So why would married, अनि it's also making married women believe that हुन्छ नि the crime for the हुन्छ नि the punishment for the crime you've gone through is less because हुन्छ नि like अलिअलि त हुन्छ.
Not big of an issue. It's not a big issue. It's not like if rape is here, married rape is here. It's like
exactly. And then like the rape for men ta kata chaina ke, it's non-existent.
I've talked to some people, some of my I wouldn't like to call them friends, but some of the people I know, they think that men can't be raped. Like that's just what they think, and it's scary. It's scary, and just this idea that men want sex, like they're just associated. Like even if you like just in like general conversations, and any men just talking about be it porn or like liking someone, liking some woman, and like all the features of like that's how they talk. And like peer pressure is also not someone. They just like it keeps adding, and they keep like thinking that that's sex is what they want at the end of the day, and that's how they associate themselves. Okay? I think it's harmful both ways. I think it justifies men for wanting sex aggressively one way or the other, and also doesn't do justice to people or men who are raped at the end of the day because they're like you're a man, you want sex, right? So that's it does nobody good except for people who rape and get away with it. But that's really sad. Did I cut you? Like just continue what you were saying.
No, and that was very bad. So
Okay. Okay, we talked about that, I think I really want to talk a little bit about marital rape also. Marital rape, domestic violence, and all that. I've said this so many times. I've talked about this with a lot of people. I think Nepal, it's so difficult for women to just dissociate themselves from their husbands because they have nowhere to go. Right. I know in my family, in my extended family, and I know this, my brother, who I don't like. So my brother's wife, she has been struggling because my brother's been cheating on her, and she is the breadwinner of the family, but she can't really like go away because it's just like so many things. Like, what will her parents say, and what will the society say? Where will she go? Like, and I think just financial independence na bhayera, there's so much that's happening in Nepal, and women are just suffering. And I have had this conversation with my mom, and she will say like so many relatives will say like we talk about a bunch of a-hole guys in our family all the time, my mom and and I just tell her like why don't just leave him, and my mom is like, do you think it's easy? Where will she go? And I don't have an answer to that. Like, where will she go really? Like, all her life that she's done is been with the man and raised their children, and there's nothing else that she has done, or that she has really no skill to go out and earn for herself. So how is she going to do that? Do you have anything to say regarding that? Like anything else?
It's not saying, sorry, I think it's again like failure of society and the structure that we have. That for a woman to be free of a toxic marriage, she has to be financially independent. Like, where's her like the home that she was born in? Ani Nepal mata, it's just after you get married, you're like out of the house. Ani like there's this ekdamai popular line that I don't know if it's used anymore, but mare pa pale punya. That's what Ketiko family says to the guy's family, and it's so frustrating, Ani. So that's saying she can't even go back to her parents, Nepali society ma. Ani at that point in our Nepali society, I think it's the parents that should take responsibility of the house. That a lot of times it's arranged marriage, and even if it's a love marriage, even if it's misjudgment, in hindsight, त्यो बेलामा पनि family will always be there, but even in case family छैन भने चाहिँ as a society त्यो एक्लै बस्दाखेरि केही न केही चाहिँ हुनुपर्छ, or government, I think state plays a very huge role. There are institutions, there are places society that gives shelter to such women of domestic violence survivors, to sexual abuse survivors or कुनै spaces हरू छ हैन. But yeah, having said that, त्यसको initial solution त making girl like your like girl children capable पहिलेदेखि हो नि त. That's where education comes to play. That's where letting women work before they get married comes into play हैन. त्यसमा चाहिँ अब letting भन्ने word use गर्नु परिरहेछ हैन. It's just so हैन, but then like त्यो space दिने हो नि त हैन. So that's how it can change. And because we live in a capitalist society on this पछि definitely financial freedom is freedom हैन अहिले. So there are a lot of other structures playing into it पनि. A lot of women belonging to minority groups, especially if a woman belongs to the Dalit community of Nepal, she is less heard than women belonging to Brahmin community of Nepal. If I was abused, masanga resources and then I could speak and people would listen to me. But then for a Dalit woman, त्यो एकदमै ठुलो gap बनिन्छ के. For people to even listen, and they have to rely on activists at time, or not saying that that's bad, but barriers through धेरै छ नि त. So financial barrier, like you said, orko कुरा हैन. I belonging to a very privileged background, if I I hope not, if I get into a very toxic marriage, I can get out of it easily. I would not, you and I, we would not choose to remain in a toxic marriage because we have privilege, So we need to understand how privilege comes into play for women to leave toxic marriage, or how allies can help, or to say if there's anyone in our acquaintance just like say going to a difficult time, perhaps we could help them in ways that we can. Or just kaile kahin ta sundida matrai ni pugcha ke for victims. In Nepali society, where we don't listen, we like giving advice. Listening is like, it's not in our blood. But then if we just give them space, a lot of times solutions come from the victims themselves. It's just that they're not being listened to. What do you want to do? And at the end, they can make decisions for themselves. So they just need a space to let it out and to be heard. So a lot of things come into play. I don't have the right answer, and I don't think anyone else except for the victim has the right answer that what they want to do, or what they think that they should do. All we can do is provide them support, just Alexa, or like speak actively for supporting them, perhaps. But
that's a great way to put it. We need to really ask victims what they want to do and what they want to like how they want to lead their life, instead of speaking on their behalf, protesting on their behalf, being angry on their behalf. I think it just, instead of like, you're just losing the bigger picture instead of just focusing on the crime itself and not on the victim. Having said that, I really forgot my key on that. Like if you like wherever you're talking, I just like think of so many things, and I keep, maybe I'll come back to it. Let me just figure it out. I'll probably come back to it. I know. I already talked about that. Yeah, I really want to discuss about Paul Shah. I know you put up the story, and I really liked. I think I messaged you right away. Amy, would you like to share like your 2 cents on that?
Yeah. So, is it okay if I swear?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so I have just 2 words: bullshit, for all the people who are supporting Paul Shah, because we need to understand on any basis that children are children. Maturity does not come from how they look like. Are their breasts developed, or like can they I don't know, did your or even perhaps whether or not your grandmother had your father when she was 15 or 16 games. She was like, your grandmother was immature, Nita. Like, why are you defending that? So our society needs to understand that again, like I said, it's not physical. Okay. So adolescence is a phase where you are very much sexually, the hormones kick in at the time. That's how your body get developed, and that's how you get sex curious at that age. But just because you are sex curious does not mean that a 30-year-old man should feel like he has the, I don't know, right, or he has the, it's okay to use the usko age, usko bodily feature to groom her. The grooming ko concept that you groom her into having sex with you consensually. No, consent from child does not count. A lot of times when people who are raped when they're very young, they don't even know that what's going on is rape, okay? Especially with thanks to media, rape like so a lot of people don't even realize that that they've been violated. People mind it gets normalized. Simple normalized like for no apparent reason it makes us uncomfortable. That's how it works. Obviously, if something happens over and over to you by someone that you trusted, someone you trust to impart knowledge on you, how do you how do you say that it's wrong? And you learn it later, okay? So the onset of the post-traumatic symptoms, it's very late, okay? Especially in cases of children being raped. So त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ like Paul Shahको केसमा people were slut shaming a 15-year-old girl, and like, how petty can you get? Right. Look at I'm 24 and I look at 15-year-old, like 15-year-old kids, I call them kids as I feel old. 15-year-old age I used to feel like adult ho 10, 9 and there are a lot of surge of hormones happening and you're like, oh, you like this guy, you like this person, and obviously you're sex curious, and definitely people can get inclined into a lot of onset of such things starts when you're a teenager, it's adult's responsibility to be an adult, okay? You can't expect a teenager, a child to be an adult, okay? That's absurd. Then how can you expect a child to be an adult? Neither. It's the word it's adult's responsibility. As much as if it gets proof pani bhayo carry, as much as Paul Shah is the culprit, the society, everyone defending him is as well, okay? You're letting more Paul Shahs to do it and get away with it, okay? And the fact that there were people, women in fact, malai say, oh my god, like defending him, but the actress, I forgot her name and I don't want to remember her name, pani, baba, like she was like, luga cha chat deko thiena hola ni ta, and this and that, okay? And there was an interview, I'm like, woman, come on. Like, alikati open up your mind, alikati त्यो झ्यालो अलिकति मात्रै खोले पनि you could know so many things. And it's very triggering for victims. जसले चाहिँ it's already the reality. अनि एउटा केस आइदिन्छ नि, everyone is like, oh, हैन पल्सा हैन, अनि त्यो बहिनीको कुरा आएको छ हैन, अनि त्यो imagine what happened to the बहिनी and other people who went through the same thing in the same age, okay? And like you said, okay, the victim blaming and slut shaming, and costly, why would they even report, okay? Something as apparent as the case mapani. If people are still defending it, why would I, why would I go on this way to re-traumatize like people are going to victim blame you and people are not going to believe in you, and then people are going to compare you with some other girl who's sanskari baini and all, and then they're going to defend Paul Shah. There's this big actress of Nepali who's making statements against you. It's very traumatizing, and she's still a child, okay?
Yeah.
that girl is still a child, and you are you are traumatizing that girl like anything, and you're slut shaming a child. You are the culprit here, okay? And if you're doing it, and people need to understand. And it's not just him, okay? Nepalma the actors भयो भने त्यो त पेडेस्टलमै हुन्छ. लेट्स हुन्छ लाइक टकिङ अबाउट भुवन केसी र साम्राज्ञीको केस हुन्छ, tried sharing about her experience, and then everyone was slut shamed her. No one listened to her, and everyone हुन्छ नि. अनि भुवन केसीको कुराहरू त हुन्छ नि लाइक त्यो मिडियाको people, they're notorious for these things, हैन? अनि someone as privileged as साम्राज्ञी, उसको त कुरा मान्छेहरू सुन्दैनन् भने हुन्छ नि. अनि why would anyone feel comfortable sharing about their experience, के? अनि it makes sense for people to not share about experience. अनि भन्छ नि share गर्नुपर्छ, हुन्छ नि त्यो भन्नुपर्छ भनेपछि त justice पाउँछ नि भनेको, हैन? What do you think justice is? हुन्छ नि slut shaming is not justice, victim blaming is not justice. If त्यो justice पाउनलाई मैले आफूलाई traumatize गरेको गरे गर्नुपर्छ, I have to defend myself at every step. And I have to say, हुन्छ नि होइन मलाई भएको कुरा ट्रु हो, प्लिज बिलिभ मी. If I have to beg for people's के रे त्यो हुन्छ नि people's support, हैन? It's not worth it. हुन्छ नि बरु थेरापी जान्छु, हिल गर्छु, हुन्छ नि यो मलाई यसमा चक्करमा मान्छेलाई किन भन्ने, हैन? Or some people don't even have the luxury to say थेरापी जान्छु, हिल गर्छु, के हुन्छ नि? Some people just have to live with it. नेपालमा त यो केसेस त भइ नै रहेछ, हैन? अनि there are so many victims of rape were not answered, were not even हाम्रो त माइन्डमा क्रस पनि गर्दैन नि त. जस्तै अनि they're so disenfranchised, हैन? जस्तै एक्जाम्पल अफ हाम्रो जुन सिभिल वार भयो, हैन? अनि वार victims भनेर like disabled भएको community, like worldly गर्दाखेरि disabled हुने communityहरू, people who had died, they all are considered as war victims, but women who were raped, they are not, okay? So, and there are so many women who got raped, not just from the हुन्छ नि like त्यो माओइस्टको साइडबाट मात्रै होइन, from the state itself. अनि हुन्छ नि like and they have been, there are so many women who've been victims. Similar case goes to migrant workers or wives who live in Nepal. Be गर्यो अनि अब कमाउनु पर्छ, they have to go to Gulf areas. And त्यो केसेसमा अब घर चलाउने त the wife is, अब एउटा घरमा आएर भर्खर बिहे भएको छ, and then husband के family members, they rape women. There's so many cases that happens, and they don't have anywhere to go to. Okay, husband पनि सँगै हुँदैन नि त to share this. And नेपालमा फेरि this popular narrative छ नि अहिले that विदेश बाहिर गएर चाहिँ बुढी पहिला भाग्दिन्छे, you know, like हुन्छ नि when the husband goes to goes to Gulf area and you know compromises with his life to earn for the wife, and then wife just has sexual intercourse with someone else, or cheats on the husband भनेर. And because of thank you to the movies who popularized this narrative, real life cases of women who are being victims and have एकदमै नै lasting psychological हुन्छ नि त्यो problems, they are getting overshadowed, okay? And even for popular people the justice is denied. Then for these cases the state ले नै actively लुकाउन खोजिरहेको छ, हैन? or हुन्छ नि like society ले नै ढाकछोप गर्न खोजिरहेको छ, हैन? So यस्तो केसेसमा चाहिँ they don't even get answered, and why would they share about their experience? के किन गएर भन्ने कि जब को त्यहाँ केस रिपोर्ट गर्नलाई for the war crime that happens against me, the war crime is state-ले recognize गरेको छैन भने म कहाँ गएर justice माग्ने के हुन्छ नि? or हुन्छ नि marital, if marital rape लाई गरेको छ तर त्यो फ्यामिलीमा बुढा विदेश गएपछि हुन्छ नि त्यो बुढी अरूकोसँग सल्किन्छे भन्ने narrative छ भने how will that woman go and हुन्छ नि त्यो file case के? I can already imagine के बुढा विदेशमा भएको वुमेन कसैले केस फाइल गर्यो भने त गर्ने बेला मजा गर्यो होला, अब अहिले चाहिँ केस फाइल गर्नु परेको छ खुब and stuff like that के? And the double standards. अनि so यो पल्साको केस चाहिँ just यो popular people just bring the gravity of the issue in our it just slaps in our face, and every time it keeps me in check. Every time I feel like, "Lo, hey, Nepal progress and it's like, no. You are just getting out of it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
very.
think Paul case didn't make people like that. They were already like that. It's just, I think, brought into the surface for us to see it clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought Samragya case. I remember sharing that myself, you know. And yeah, I remember a few of my guy friends commenting like, why is she talking right now? She's like trying to gain popularity. I'm like, so sickening. And having said that, like I also want to add like Me Too movement. So in like Nepal, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but like in India, like when it happened, I used to like check every day what's happening, and I just trying to educate myself. And I had like conversation with some of my friends, and they were like, why are they talking right now? And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's so like hard to explain to them. Ki, like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Why are they talking right now? And so it's just very very sad. And as you also mentioned, Garden Bellama Garden, I like Ugari. And I have been posting a lot about, like, not recently, but Facebook. I used to post a lot about sexual violence, rapes, and all that. When I used to like share it right away, and so many people commenting that. But what about like women making false allegations and all that? Like, dude, like, I don't know, like there's two things that I get constantly. But what about women making false allegations? And but men get raped too. Okay, recently this is like what has happened. Like the kind of feedback I get whenever I share about sexual violence against women, and it's just, I don't know what to tell them anymore. It's just so sad. Like, I get that there might be like a small percentage of women who might misuse the unsani, but why are you bringing that up when there's a like real issue on hand? Okay, do you have you had any like instances where somebody has said the same to you?
Yeah, definitely. Like it still happens, and I'm not saying it does not happen, but the number in like simple. Okay, if you don't want to believe in the victim pony, or if you want to dismiss the idea of rape, just compare the numbers, Nita. कति टाइम चाहिँ false allegation भएको छ हैन, or false allegation proof भएको बेलामा चाहिँ हैन, who, like, how was the trial proceeded, हैन, the trial कसरी भएको थियो, was the judge a man or a woman, what did the judge focus on, right? So all these things also come into play. You know, we're not saying that judges are not sexist, neither they can be sexist, you know. So I'm not like not dismissing the experiences of men who were falsely accused, I know definitely it happens. But having said that, again, it's we always like to talk about your broader level ma on this we don't listen to the victims, we don't listen to the experiences. Okay, we just want to say, okay, this happened, so you because that's how society has trained us to function. So I saw this quote somewhere, like yeah, of course, like men do get falsely accused, or even women could get falsely accused, but I would always listen to the victim then and be proven wrong, than to, or be proven a liar, than to be a supporter of a rapist. Okay, and I stand by it. And I'd rather I would rather refresh my ideas. I'd rather refresh the knowledge I have than to be and then to ever support a rapist. Okay, and that's like I would never. So you have commented गर्न सकिन्छ नि त, if you have been so easily, if you have been so easily biased against women, then try being it against men though, for once, for a change of mind, for a fresh air. How does that serve you, Khadi? Ani मेरो लागि चाहिँ it's pretty clear. If a victim is saying it, even it's a man, woman, anyone, I would always believe the victim first. Okay, they'll say, this what she say, but then if the case is different, yeah, then I can say I was wrong, and I would consider I was wrong. Right? It's not about me, okay? And that's something that we don't get it. Or case, we think like it's about me. Am I being?
They're not the victims.
Or or the culprit, or so malai say it's like am I an activist enough if I talk about it just the I want it? But it's not about me. हुन्छ नि कहिलेकाहीँ पर्सनली नै गाह्रै हुन्छ होइन अनि त्यसपछि आई जस्ट वान्ट टु ब्याक होइन तर इट्स लाइक ओके मैले यो केसमा यो भने चाहिँ वुड इट बी अ राइट थिङ हुन्छ नि अनि बट why am I getting that space? You know, are we giving victim enough space? So, giving space, the space is a very important factor in any structures of power. Who are we giving space to talk about? You know, and a lot of times what happens is it's us privileged people who get that space. And it's not wrong to talk to make sure that we aware people about communities who are being marginalized, but at the same time, say, thinking back in my head, should I be the one? Is this about me? If it is, I am going to talk about it. Or if I just feel ekdamai emotionally charged, I just burst out. So yeah, it's in that cases, obviously I believe the victims, and in my personal conversations I have with people, I'm like, yeah, did you really bring that up? Did you really say? Oh, even men get falsely accused. Obviously they do, not invalidating their experiences. And there have been men who have been through that, and it's very traumatizing even for them to be accused for something that they didn't do. So it's understanding of what rape is, and the sex education comes into place for both the parties. What is this one, right? So यसमा पनि अनि even for the state पनि हुन्छ do they have the lawmakersहरुको पनि enough sex education छ कि छैन भन्ने कुराहरु पनि हुन्छ हैन. So I think all these things come into place अनि to recognize, to talk about these issues, to give space to people, all these things come into place. I think for me, but yeah, for me, like believing victim all the way, like म पनि हुन्छ नि like त्यो innocent again हुन्छ नि त्यो guilty until proven innocent ma believe गर्छु म चाहिँ हैन, just opposite to it. So yeah.
Yeah, very interesting things. You mentioned a lot of things, but I want to focus on the last part, sex education. I mean, I just look back at my school days and I was like, what the hell? Like, we missed out on so much. That was such a great platform, such a great opportunity for us to learn as kids about so many things. I know. Why is there something like about consent, rape? Like, why? And why does nobody like, I don't know if I haven't checked the textbooks now. I don't know if they're included now, but it's just, I don't understand like why that is missing. Is sex education ko motive kyo at the end of the day? To make sure when you're having sex, you don't hurt the other person, you're having a safe sex, you take care of yourself and the other person. I mean, where is consent in that? Where is like all these sexual abuses? Like, why is that not in there?
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Yeah. So sex education, it's like one of the worst things ever in Nepal, because we didn't get enough information on anything. All I studied, I remember studying, is the anatomy and like estrogen, testosterone, and all the hormones and sunny, and like okay, useful, but like I need more khale sunny. And it's inadequate company. I think the definition of inadequate could be sex education in Nepal, because it does not teach people anything. And not the consent consent ko ni kura chaina, like it didn't happen in my school, thankfully, but in schools I've heard that sex education classes for girls and boys used to be separate. Teachers did not even utter the word menstruation in front of boys. It's natural for us to feel एकदम लाज लाग्थ्यो नि त. We used to be so shy in sex ed class नि त, because बच्चादेखि sex education has been a very hush topic नि त.
Yeah, it's a taboo.
Yeah, exactly. So बच्चैदेखि, I don't think it starts from school. I think it starts from home, okay? Because घरमा बच्चाले मम्मी सेक्स के हो भन्दाखेरि जे पाइ त्यो बोल्छन् भनेर, if you get the answer, हुन्छ नि, and then like obviously हुन्छ नि, you're like, oh it's wrong, oh it's हुन्छ नि, oh taboo, ha 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 वाला हुन्छ हैन नि. I remember हुन्छ नि being shy as fuck हुन्छ नि त्यो क्लासमा एकदमै, अनि त लाज लागेर हुन्थ्यो. फेरि I feel like I'm one of the few lucky people जसको चाहिँ teacher was not shy, अनि हुन्छ नि पछि he was like in my class I remember त्यति बेला चाहिँ I'm like कस्तो फोरी टिचर रहेछ जस्तो लाग्थ्यो हैन but then like the teacher talked about masturbation, talked about हुन्छ नि how it can be done, or हुन्छ नि how you can, even if you have sex, what are the contraceptive methods and this and that, and he was quite के भन्ने, he was very open about it, and we found that it was gross, but in hindsight I'm like, yeah, he did the work pretty well than what I hear from other people. Just as okay? So the matter of good touch, bad touch, 8th class देखि आउने कुरा होइन नि त, like sex education 8 देखि त पढाइ हुन्थ्यो नि त, right? अनि while we had friends making out at the in grade 6 हैन, how can you 8 मा आएर मात्रै सिकाउने होइन नि त, gradually हुन्छ नि अलिअलि गरे देखि गर्ने हो. अनि why is sex such a taboo, why is हुन्छ नि like kissing on lips such a big thing हुन्छ नि, so हुन्छ नि त्यो why is the concept of couples so हुन्छ नि एकदम नुनु in our society, so all these things come into play. Okay, अनि the good touch bad touch हरू भन्छ हैन, अनि it's not about touch, okay, it's about consent again, okay. So did the small guy or a girl हुन्छ नि उनीहरुलाई यो टच appropriate लाग्यो कि लागेन, or हुन्छ नि त्यो प्लेसेसहरु हुन्छ नि we say हुन्छ नि यो ठाउँमा टच गर्यो भन्ने हुन्छ नि, it's not just about like reproductive parts मा मात्रै हुन्छ नि टच गर्यो भने पनि bad touch हुँदैन नि त. Sometimes it can be a pat on the back.
Yeah.
You know, the intent हुन्छ नि त्यो हुन्छ हैन, or हुन्छ नि why do एकदमै fussy uncles, or why do like त्यो एकदम uncles even have to carry the children lap ma, why would you allow your kids to हुन्छ नि be there, you know?
Yeah.
So you खालको कुराहरु पनि हुन्छ के बच्चादेखि, how do you protect your child, what is normalized, and this like give your uncle a kiss, or हुन्छ नि why is that normalized, हुन्छ र auntie a kiss हुन्छ नि, so यो खालको कुराहरु बच्चादेखि, and we're not open to listening to kids. Nepali society मा त like I said हुन्छ नि like there's hierarchy to everything, and the parent child hierarchy is हुन्छ नि one of the worst ones.
I know.
You know, we don't listen to the kids. बच्चाले भन्दैछ I'm not feeling good, यस्तो भइराछ भन्दाखेरि gaslight एकदम quickly हुन्छ नि, no this is not what happened to you हुन्छ नि, you're thinking too much, यस्तो पो भएको हो त, यस्तो पो गर्न खोज्नु भएको हो त भनेर, अनि त्यो dismiss भएपछि त repression हुन्छ नि त. You know that even if you go to the parents, the sole two protectors of your life or one protector of your life, if even they don't listen to you, then why would you go and talk to them? And sometimes you as parents have to dig it out of the children pani, they're so traumatized if that happens, or because sex is such a no thing, then it's so sad that it's always sexual abuse victims who feel the guilt and not the other way around. Okay?
Yeah.
मैले के गर्नु पर्थ्यो कि, मैले नो राम्ररी भनिन कि, मैले के गरे कि, म त्यहाँ हुनु नहुने थियो कि, did I wear the wrong clothes भनेर सोसाइटीले भनिराख्नु पर्दैन के. Victims already do that, they just त्यो मट्टीतेल थप्ने जस्तो हो के आगोमा हैन. So this the cases when people have doubts, they don't share, because if they're the ones already blaming them, obviously they have this fear and there's this hesitance to sharing it to other people because they know that they're going to be dismissed. And that's why I think parents have this responsibility to talk to their children and listen to them, because we just don't like listening. We like saying kids what to do. We never ask them what they want to do. So like these things play a very big role. So sex education starts from home, and then it's school, and then it's the formal education. The formal education, it's both the school ma, if you are taught the word sex, if God forbid if teachers find out that some two people are just sneaking school ko back doors, parents bolaera shaming, slut shaming the girl, and this making sure the guy is beaten up, suspend, this and that. And I'm like, aren't you a hypocrite for teaching sex education then? For the bare minimum that you're doing, you're again being a hypocrite. And this how teachers talk to their students. Skirt you're a slut one. The teachers the word, and it's traumatizing. Like the teachers are like it's just a skirt, And teachers like male teachers ko आँखा नजाओस्, male students को आँखा नजाओस् भने त्यही बेलादेखि नै सिकाइरहेछ नि त केटीहरूलाई कि it's their clothes provoking them भनेर. अनि it's not just about what's in the textbooks, okay? It's about the entire experience नि त. त्यो त 8 दिनको 8 घण्टा बिताउने HP क्लास त म्याक्सिमम हप्तामा 2 चोटि त हुन्थ्यो हैन, एक हप्ता एकचोटि वा 2 चोटि. सो the HP class teaches nothing हुन्छ नि खासमा त. And it should not be the sole responsibility of one single subject. And like you said हुन्छ नि त्यो रेप पनि एउटा social crime हो or हुन्छ नि social evil हो भन्छ. हामी सोशलमा पढेन नि. We learned about casteism, we learned about untouchability. Rape, it was never in the textbook. Okay?
Yeah.
So how do you teach people that it happens? Right? So how do you teach people to be vocal? So it's the pure education system nurture गर्ने हो नि त यो खालको कुरा. It's their responsibility, it's parents' responsibility, it's teachers' responsibility. What happens out of the classroom? Okay, so in my school, there were teachers who tried to like assault students, and they were kicked out, thankfully. But then त्यो space पाउनु भनेको नि त unsafe environment हो नि त. त्यो त त्यो unsafe environment किन create भइरहेछ हैन? What goes on while you're interviewing a teacher in a class? And what do you check? Do you just check the degrees, or just teaching style? Do you test their personality? Of course you don't know, you don't know how people are. So यो सबै कुरामा how do you take actions? How do you make your students feel safe? And are you listening to the students? Again, like parents, are teachers listening? Are you slut shaming the students? That used to happen a lot in my school. Like, especially very sad female teachers used to do it a lot, like the most. Ani, so यो सबै कुरामा चाहिँ did you listen? Do you want to just save reputation of your school, or do you want to be a representation of what an effective schooling system looks like? यो खालको कुराहरु नि हुन्छ. Sex education and the subject HP त एकदम bare minimum. Okay, it's so much beyond that. अनि it's sad that we have to learn through internet, through podcasts, through other means, the things that we could have easily learned in school. So, or then from families, and that's why a lot of things, by the time people learn it, they also make a lot of mistakes at their time. So yeah, sex education, it's like, oh my god, it's okay. Then people learn from porn also, and that's another problem. While you leave your youth to learn from porn, that's the worst thing ever. Consent pani chaina, ani women are seen as an object. Women are like they're very submissive and the sex in porn. Ani the men have to be aggressive. And all these things, and that's how teenagers learn. Ani त्यो खालको environment छ भने, if your teacher for sex education is porn, it's then your society is probably already fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's very inadequate.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be any changes when it comes to the way students are taught about sex education. I don't know, like I really want to look into it and like see what these students are studying. But the good touch, bad touch thing, you said like 8 mate padhauncha. I feel school is a job got person, but I think parents also have a big role. And I really want to share this. But my mom, she taught me about not good touch, bad touch, but she awared me that men will you need to be careful because men will try to touch you in the chest, try to just try to touch you. And she taught me this, like, I think when I was at kindergarten, I was like really, really small. And I think I was very aware of this from a very young age. It probably made me very paranoid compared to my other friends. I'm very happy she did that. And it also comes, I also want to talk about the bus incidents. Okay? I never traveled much in public vehicles. And even if I did, I was always with my mom, because she'd seen the horrors of that. She used to tell me like stories of, I remember she used to tell me like at least like once in a while, she used to tell me, hey, I saw this girl being that. My mom and her friends used to save these girls, bus found that whenever they saw that like somebody was harassing like a school girl. I think it wasn't until like grade 11 that I started going in public vehicles by myself. And my mom used to say, like, check the seat. It would be the seat, and then I used to go, okay? She was that protective about me. I didn't understand, like, at that time, but when I started talking about these things with other female friends, and then I understood why she was so
Yeah.
protective. It's good, but it's also bad. Okay? Like, we need to protect women so much, okay? Isn't it like, I know
Yeah.
my mom did a good job. It's good on her part. It's good for me, but like it's sad
Mm.
that we have to protect women so much. Okay? Like why?
Yeah.
Like recently. And
Yeah.
I also want to talk about child abuse. And you said that we need to I agree. Like parents, children ka hierarchy. In Nepal, especially respect elders. You respect elders. One like them. धेरै कुरा बिगाएको जस्तो लाग्छ हैन मलाई. I don't want
Yeah.
to respect elders just because they're elders. I'm going to respect everyone. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to respect anyone who makes me uncomfortable. I think that's what needs to be taught. Your children
Yeah.
like respect elders. Whatever. It's just I think A, it instills like fear in them. So and B, when I say it's just parents are not
Yeah.
going to believe children, and children are going to be open. Children are not going to open up to their problems with their parents.
Yeah.
And I just want to share this really quickly, and I don't know how relevant this is, but like I usually have so many thoughts going on in my mind. For some reason, there was this day when I was like thinking about child abuse and all that, and I probably had a conversation with someone, and I was curious. Okay, I was in the setting, and I don't want to say where, but I had like few female friends, and I asked every one of them like if they'd experienced it, and everyone had like a traumatic child abuse experience, and I was the only one who didn't have like a story like that. One girl, her own like mama uncle like was like sexually misbehaved with her. The other person like tuition teacher, the other person like uncle. I was like, what the hell? Like I couldn't sleep that night, Kenny. It's so bad. It's so bad that I think this really has to start with parents to Laksamai instead
Yeah.
of schooling, because school is school. तिमीले भनेपछि तिम्रो like schoolमा there was someone who was kicked out because they were misbehaving. In our school there was this teacher, and we complained about him, but they did nothing. And thankfully I asked to like alumnus, I don't know, alumni like my friend who still is in that alumni group, and she said that the current generation of people who are studying right now, students, they finally revolted and he's finally out. But that's how much it takes for a man a man can get
Yeah.
away with anything they do in Nepal,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have actually, I think, covered everything. Do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I think this conversation can get as long as possible because it's a very real issue and it happens all around us, like you said, Ansani. So many people have gone through is the traumatic pura. Ani, I think I just want to end by not asking people to do much, just use they have यो podcast access गर्न सक्ने मान्छे भनेको they have access to internet भनेको access to information हैन just give some time and sort हुन्छ नि अनि a lot of times के हुन्छ भने society likes us to make us believe that हामीले मान्छेलाई educate गर्नुपर्छ भनेर हैन and I used to be there and I'm like no, like resource त खोज न यार मैले नि त्यही गरे हैन and you're just choosing to be ignorant if you're not looking up things or if you're not understanding people. And I just want to ask people to be empathetic at the least. Khali, just put yourself in their place and just look up things that would make lives of so many, like if you just allow victims to speak or and just give them space to even be vulnerable or even to feel the trauma pani त्यो symptoms pani feel गर्न दिदैन के because एक त report गर्यो and people are hurry people to get healed so fast के it does not happen that way नि त so it's always about what they believe, what we believe rather than what victims believe हैन so त्यो केसेसमा पनि if you know someone, please be in ear to them, please be there but don't glorify them as survivors. But some people don't like it. Some people, it's very difficult for them, unless they agree to it or unless they consent to it. So leave them, let them grieve if they want to grieve, because society ma grieve to garnu hudaina bhanne cha. So it's a very, so to start, like we talked about, childhood देखि नै हुन्छ नि, after it happens पनि त्यो culprit जेलमा गएपछि पनि victim still are victim, okay, and they still have to live with it, so it's justice system चाहिँ it's okay, जेलमा गयो, certain उ गर्यो, पैसा दियो, fine तिर्यो, but it's more than that. It still happens and it still त्यो trauma still छ. So त्यो केसेसमा पनि then justice system बाहिर आएर society को पनि role हुन्छ के, from not creating more victims to giving spaces to victims, पनि the existing victims पनि. I think there's a lot that we can do as a society. So yeah, I just want to ask your viewers to just be empathetic and just listen if you know anyone. We like to force people to report cases, but always remember कि for someone who's lost their autonomy, we don't want to like आफ्नो opinion थोपेर अर्को autonomy पनि फेरि हुन्छ नि, you have to do it भनेर पनि. Let them have the time and let them, because they know the best. अनि listen to victims, अनि please let's give them benefit of a doubt, at the very least. Yeah, and I just hope that Routine of Nepal Bandhako comments one day on Sunny, and it's like Martin Luther King. I have a dream that one day I open comment section of Routine of Nepal Bandhako post and I don't feel triggered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to end with it.
I have a few things to add. Do you think whenever we share, like I share a lot of these things on my social media, and there are a few people who appreciate it, but do you think it can really change someone's minds, like something like when somebody who has like roots of, like somebody who is very sexist to the core and who think that women are like inferior to men or something like that, do you think it can really, like what can we do? Okay, like how can we as individuals, like this is like an actual question. I often think, like whenever I see like so many rape cases and all that, I like they're nights where I can't even sleep, and I'm like, what can I do as an individual? What can I do? It's just always constantly on my mind. So do you think like us talking about like the issue on social media or having those conversations help, or do you think it's just like?
Yeah, I think having conversations is always necessary. The dominant discourse about that already exists, and rape and this and that, or for man it's normal. It helps break these dominant discourse. So alternative discourses are always important, and we have to have these discussions, so that we don't give much space for other discourses to happen, and it's about actively talking about it. But yeah, at the same time, it's also about sometimes if someone comes and tells me Me Too movement, I'm not going to explain it to them. Like if you have internet, text go Google, go search, watch all the articles, watch all the videos. There's ample things. It's not my responsibility to teach you, but if you want to have a discussion on it, I'm open to it. Heated discussion, but if you just want to piss me off, then yeah, I'm not going to entertain it. Some people come out of genuine curiosity, but the genuine curiosity say society if you speak about these issues, people just come and they expect you to educate them. I'm like, no, do that yourself. Be responsible for the information that you have. So I say I'm very past the time when I feel like it's my responsibility to educate them. And I can share you the resources that I have, but I'm not going to go and search the resources and I'm going to give this to you. And because मलाई message लेख्न सक्छौ भने you can just go and look at it. But yeah, discussions like we are having, I got to learn a lot from you, and I hope that's vice versa. So you still have discussions where we're being equals and we're not asking someone about something just to spite them. I think that's not healthy, but this is very healthy discussion. I think healthy discussions are important. After this discussion, I have got things that I can go back and research on, and then to learn more about things. That's what it should be like, just like Samala, not to impose on people, but definitely talking about it. Okay, so it helps for people to know about terms. Say someone who's never had heard Me Too in their lives. So if you post about it and they see it, and if that sparks a curiosity, then I think it's always a win. Okay. Then if they want to know more about it, so yeah, we should talk about it, Pani, but not at the expense of yourself, Pani Monsoons. And if it's going to take mental toll on you, and very sorry that you feel like, what can I do for this? And we all feel that, but just want to let you know that it's not your fault, and don't feel sorry about it. Of course we do, but we have to take care of ourselves first, Nita. So yeah, this might say we have to talk about it, but we also have to learn to give spaces to people, and also say no to people who are like, oh, educate me, oh, enlighten me, do that yourself. Thank you very much. Okay, I do that. Yeah.
The reason I asked that is I've always tried to spark these conversations with my male friends, and I remember this was, I think, during COVID first lockdown. I don't know if you remember, but this was this girl who shared how a professor, her teacher, had abused her, and I think Instagram I shared, like, there were like a long text, and I had shared it on Instagram myself, and there was a group of guys I was with, my friends, and I told them about it, and they were like, we don't want to talk about it. Like, that was it made me so angry, and it made me so angry. But I know I can't force them to talk about it, and they're like, it makes them uncomfortable once I know, but just I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, I know it makes you uncomfortable, but it's not like the uncomfortable, Nita. It's just because, like, they choose to ignore it, but just because you close your eyes doesn't mean like the problem is gone, Nita, And I don't know what to do. Like, it makes me really helpless. Okay? I just want to keep talking and like Unsani, but there's just people who don't want to. But I get it. Like, already people have so much like going on in their lives. They probably have a bunch of shit to deal like in their own lives, and they don't want to like. But
that's the privilege, okay, to choose what you want to talk about, and what to be able to say it makes you uncomfortable and not to talk about it. Okay, so that's a privilege. When your privilege is questioned, it's always uncomfortable. Okay, so when I, as a Brahmin, the caste issues around, so and all the atrocities that the Brahmin community imposed on other communities, it's always uncomfortable for me, but that does not mean I stay ignorant, or that does not mean like the very fact that I have a choice to stay ignorant, very fact that I have a choice to say I'm uncomfortable, I want to be out of this conversation, is the indicator of a privilege case, showing that you're benefiting from not being in that discourse, or this discourse is about you and you, or the benefits that you have on it. So yeah, it's very uncomfortable for men. Ani, just want to tell like male friends who wants to be open-minded, it could not be about you. Okay, you are not the representation of all the men. So if you are open to your ideas, I respect them. We respect you. And you have some people, some men in my life, they're wonderful allies. I've grown up around shitty men. I've grown up around wonderful men. I have very wonderful friends who are very good allies. And to talk about feminists, they are feminists. They recognize themselves as feminists, and they're very, and they believe in giving spaces to women. So there are men like that. You could be that man. Nothing is getting taken away from you. It was never yours to begin with, Nita. So yeah, so I think that helps, funny. But yeah, some people just, they like being assholes. Like, we can't do anything but them.
Yeah, but I just hope that people start caring just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, to find out like why that victim went through what they went through. Well, why is this girl sharing this? And suddenly, I know you want to go watch like sports and music and talk about like politics, but But what about real life? What about real people? Like, what if that happens next time with you? Like, offline or someone like, do you not want to care about it? Like, as you said, empathy is what we need. Okay? We talk so much about the big talk. Be kind, be that, be this. They want to just have this big talk. But what does being really kind mean? Yeah. It doesn't just say like being, probably they think being kind means hello, thank you, Zani, like just sharing your lunch. That's kind, but like the definition of kindness definitely needs to change, I think. Zani.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that those kind of things really make me sad when people don't even want to indulge in those discussions.
One very key thing that you just said, okay? Like you said, just think about what if it happened to you, okay? And in Nepal, say, we try to convince men saying that what if it happens to your sister or mother, indicating that it's no more, it's not about being empathetic ni ta kinabhane Nepali society ma ta gharmai ama bahini ta they are like treated like machine to cook your food, wash your dishes, like so they're not going to be empathetic that way, okay? Just tell them what if it happens to you, like you said, okay? The language plays a very big role, okay? Ani ek ta we are ekdam proliferating the idea that it happens only to women. So yeah, your mother could be a victim, your sister could be a victim, your wife could be a victim, or your, I don't know, sister-in-law could be a victim. And it also says that you're not giving them correct perspective, okay? किनभने तिमीलाई भयो भने के हुन्छ भनेर भन्दाखेरि पो ए ओके भनिन्छ नि त तिम्रो बहिनीलाई भयो भने त you're again like there's you're relating it to the relation, not to you, okay? So I think that's how we can change. When what if it happened to you, what if you were trying to explain something over and over and people are like, no, you're lying. Yeah, so it's to, like you said, just small things. Yeah, the language that we use, funny, it's so important. So yeah, that also needs to ekdam धेरै revision in Nepal.
Yeah, I think I need to use that more often. What if it happens to you? But there's just some people who just don't want to talk about it. I don't understand. And there's more men who don't, like, not just about like rape and all. Okay, like just social issues in general. Okay, men are so like they just get defensive. They just don't want to talk about it. And I think it has to do with like them not wanting to feel those emotions, maybe. I don't know. It's like there's just so many like social issues overlapping when it comes to like there's so many things overlapping, and it's complicated. I know I said like let's end like 10-15 minutes ago, but I have like one last question. I've had this discussion with like 2-3 people in like past weeks about hanging the rapist and like capital punishment and all that. And I have never been like fully supportive of the idea, because that really puts the focus on just the punishment and the like the not prevention and cure, but like the aftermath, like and I've always just tried to talk to these people and tell them that I think we need to be better as a society, because these rapists are given, like, we've given birth to these rapists as a society, right? And we need to recognize that. But most people don't understand that, but they're like, if we start punishing these rapists, the others will like, get scared and, but I think the rapist like punish pani rapist mindset like birth like we need to cut it off there, okay? Like I have a rapist mindset, like I might have a rapist mindset and I know the law, so I might not commit the crime, but focus should be on not even like perpetuating that rapist mindset in the first place. Okay, I pretty much said a lot of things, but do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do get it.
Okay,
I find it.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, like it's like the intensity of crime, like punishments that people want, and obviously it comes out of the emotions that they feel, and the form of justice that they know, So for me, like I don't care what the punishment is, I do care what it is. So the intensity, like marne parcha, like you said, it's the mindset, and that's if so it's not going to deter anyone. किन भन्दाखेरि एउटा मान्छे ह्याङ हुनेसम्मको त्यो प्रोसेस छ नि, पहिला त्यो त्यो के अरे like त्यो case जाहेरी गरो and then you're like the case starts and the like court process in Nepal is so long and then it's re-traumatizing the victim over and over and over again and त्यसपछि अनि त्यसमा पनि a very few people finally get proven guilty and then that's just 1% okay and people in power they already know कि for them to reach to that pinnacle they can already हुन्छ नि त्यो यता टाकटुक मिलाउन मिल्छ अगाडि नै भनेर so it's not going to deter them at all it's just like the hit and run case okay it's like they didn't even have to like so this jail sentence पनि complete गर्नु परेन बिचमा पैसा दिएर सक्यो नि त people in power that's what happens it's not going to deter anyone हुन्छ नि but then what can we do भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो when we shift the focus to victims when we don't put our ideas forth and when we urge lawmakers to have uniform punishment to all rapes that happen to all age groups or all kinds of cases like marital rape bhaye pani or sex workers ma hune rape bhaye pani or sabai kurama if it's very uniform then punishment certain sort of matter garcha and if prosecution ko tyo trial haru ne it's easier for them I know and if त्यसमा चाहिँ it's more about criminal blaming than victim blaming but then it looks like a punishment के तर त्यो punishment को level सम्म त मान्छे पुग्दै पुग्दैनन् के अनि when people are like yeah we need to hang the rapist भनेर हैन first prosecute त गरौँ न prosecution properly भएपछि and then I think the punishment आउँछ अनि मलाई चाहिँ I don't believe in any forms of capital punishment है मलाई चाहिँ because मलाई चाहिँ creating rapists funny society has a lot to do with it
exactly yeah
when we talk about Delhi rape case funny there was one juvenile and he just participated because he used to see his father raping his mom like because it didn't come from a very financially well of background so he used to see like same room my father raping his mom so he used to think that's normal and that's अनि हुन्छ like men forcing on women हुन्छ नि यो खालको कुरा normalize भइराछ भने त that's how they're going to learn like I said porn बाट सिकिराछ भने that's what's going to happen नि त I'm not saying that that's the main factor I'm not saying that's normal to happen obviously it's not all everyone who watches porn do that but it's about how they're created okay and how the society is allowing them to do that when you say when you marry a guy because it's their age and he might have a lot of sexual tension in him marital rape is bound to happen because if women like wife is treated as an object to receive sexual tension of a man then it's going to happen neither so yo khalko kuraharu it's less about punishment the deter alili hola I don't think this is it's more about how do you prevent these things happening how do you shape up minds what do you teach men women either protect matre garo bhancha it's never about it's very only the teacher get his son to not be a rapist so that's the narrative that we need or teach your children not just son and I've heard cases of women raping women like little kids so these things happen so just teach your children not to be rapists not to inflict harm on anyone to teach them about their bodily autonomy and right of others bodily autonomy so yeah punishment matter it's like it's very dur ki baat bhancha ni more about not creating more it's about saving the victims it's about nurturing them and then again like I said it's ekdamai focused on the criminal rather than victim or what अहिलेसम्म कुनै पनि victim I don't know है perhaps there have been तर हुन्छ नि if we go and talk to हुन्छ नि victims है पनि I don't think I've not heard most of them say हुन्छ नि like it's the criminal like capital punishment हुनु पर्छ भनेर के all they want is to live a normal life so so यो खालको कुरामा नि फोकस भए भने चाहिँ I think it would be better जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ
yeah I agree that's why I was always not against but I never like fully agreed like when it comes to just the capital punishment mindset I mean it's funny you mentioned teach your children like parents should teach their children but the problem is there's so many shitty parents already out there that are again that cycle continues to like and it's sad I mean that can be a whole different discussion about how some people should not be allowed to be parents a lot of people have literally like hated me for this hated me for saying this, but I think not everyone deserves to be a parent's Paksamana, and
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
definitely. Or Sunny, unless they change their ways, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful discussion. I learned a lot from you, and I think there's a lot of reflecting that I can do on the topics that we discussed. And I hope the people who are listening to this can learn something, or at least it made them curious about Sunny, just looking differently at rape, victim, sexual abuse, and all that. Do you have anything else to add at the end?
No, thank you so much for having me. I watched Arko Duita episode pani. They were very fun. And yeah, because we don't know each other personally that well, but you come across a very cool person. So yeah, it's very exciting for me to be here. And likewise, something like you said, I have a lot to reflect upon, and that's always wonderful. In a discussion when I have things to reflect upon. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for having me. And yeah. It has been fun, and I think I took a lot of your time.
No. I actually enjoy talking so much that like I can go on and on. It's
okay. Then
it's fine. Thank you actually for being here for like more than an hour and giving
cool.
us such great insights on this topic. Yeah, thank you, Nishma. And that is the end of this episode. I have so much going on in my mind. I'm so overwhelmed with everything we talked about. And this is so different than the other 2 episodes that I've done. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and see you guys next time.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you, Felicia.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.